I'm with Julie Connor today, and it's my privilege, Julie, to have you here on this quick video blog here for our newsletter and talking to all of our friends that subscribe to the newsletter. Julie, thank you for being with me today.
It's an honor to be here, Dave. Thank you.
Yeah, we had a great time, you as a guest on the One Simple Thing podcast a couple of months ago. So I wanted to bring you back for just a few minutes here today, because really what you're all about is helping people achieve their dreams, to reach those lifelong dreams, aren't you?
I am. And I believe it's impossible for us to reach those dreams unless we're very clear about what it is we want and why we want it. And I believe when we clarify those two things, what we want and why we want it, that the hows have a way of taking care of themselves. Without a dream, and without goals connected to that dream, is like shooting arrows into the air without a target.
Yeah, we were just talking about that in our office this morning, and we said, well, what's our end point, you know?
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Sometimes it's a matter of figuring out what that destination is and then kind of reverse engineering to get yourself there, right?
Yeah, Stephen Covey was right. Begin with the end in mind. And when we have an idea of what that is, we can shoot all of our arrows that direction.
Why does it seem that we're so kind of scattered when it comes to what we really want? I would say 8 out of 10 people, if you were to ask them, what do you really want out of life? They wouldn't be able to tell you. Or they might think they know, but when it comes right down to it, they really don't know.
Well, I believe some of that is connected with how we experience success. And I can attribute myself to this as well. My calendar used to be the barometer I used for determining whether I was successful or not. And if I had a calendar filled with tasks, that meant I was busy. And if I was busy, that meant I was accomplishing something.
Been there, done that.
And it doesn't, but when I started to look at my own calendar, especially when I lost my job in 2011, shortly after I completed my dissertation and doctoral program, I had to rethink what direction I was headed. And when we begin with tasks, just simple, unrelated tasks that aren't connected with a goal or an end-mind vision, that we just end up doing stuff for stuff's sake, and that doesn't get anybody
So
further.
what do we do today? How can we, what's the biggest step that our viewers and me included can do today to start taking that step towards our vision, our dreams?
I believe if you're not sure about the next step to your dream, your job in this moment is to become crystal clear about who you are, what you value, what gifts you possess, and what positions align with your passion. I think when you get in tune with the things that really excite you and start doing the kinds of things that align with your passion, will experience greater happiness and success.
That makes a lot of sense. So what are you up to these days? What do you have going on in your world?
Well, one of the things that I have been working particularly with is student teachers, and students in particular, students in schools and teachers. One of the things, like I told you in our last interview, as I have done organizational and personal goal setting strategies for 30 years, and all of that changed on its ear when I did a workshop with high school students, and I accidentally asked a student, I wanted him to tell me about his goal, but I accidentally asked, tell me about your dream. And he said, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that question before. And I didn't realize it at the time we talked, Dave, but one of the parts that I'm doing with my Dreams to Action Trailblazers Guide and the book I wrote and the tools that I share with others I've been getting more and more requests from teachers and school districts about how we can light the fire within students. And when we start discussing these ideas about dreams and curriculum is important, but we find out what kids are excited about first and give them an opportunity to express that in their reading, in their writing, that this is, I think, the revolution that we've been looking to happen in education. So
Yeah, it
I've been
just
a
seems
revolutionary. That's what I've been doing, Dave.
changing the world. That's all.
Yeah. One child.
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense because doing schoolwork for schoolwork's sake isn't fun. But if you realize it's getting you towards your dream, all of a sudden it takes on some meaning and some passion in your heart, right?
Absolutely. And I line those one of the other things that I'm doing. I've got 2 university positions. I'm a student teaching field supervisor at the University of Missouri Kansas City. And I'm a composition teacher at IT&T Technical Institute. And who would have ever dreamed that teaching at a technical college would be such a creative process? And something I believe is when students of all ages ask about, I don't understand why I have to take science. Well, science is about making decisions. It's a process of begin with the end in mind again, and we hypothesize and we work through a decision-making process. The thing about writing, as you well know, is it gives us an opportunity to be reflective. And when we share our writing, when we share our dreams, when we share our passions, that it provides profound opportunities for us to build relationships. And I believe in the education system, we need both. We need processes that help kids make decisions, but we also need to be very in tune to how the writing process allows us to build relationships with one another.
Yeah, discovering those dreams is important, whether you're in high school or you're in business or whoever you are. That's it's like we talked about, I think, on the podcast too. You start with the why, and a lot of times the how almost takes care of itself, doesn't it?
Yes. If you don't mind, there's five questions that I think are at the heart of this that I think help get people closer to their dreams.
Yeah, let's list them out.
Number 1 is to reflect and think about, who am I? Number 2, what do I want to do? Number 3, who do I want to do it for? Number 4, what do they want or need? And 5, how are they changed? Because I do believe something that's in the heart of all of us at some level is to do something that leaves a legacy. Do something that has meaning, and in some way do something that is of service to others. And
I know all 5 of those questions are meaningful, but the one that really kind of almost evoked a visceral response in me was when you said, what do I want to do? Yeah. Because I think probably most of us have never asked ourselves that question.
Well, I think something, and once again, at a school level, we are very good with primary children about asking with them what they want to be when they grow up. And we cheer them when they say president or a fireman or a policeman or a nurse. And then by the time they get in 6th grade in middle school years, we start questioning them about what classes they want to take for the degree program that they want to be when they grow up. And I think we need to explore lots of different things, arts and music and science and history, and those are set out to a degree. But I think if how we present these give kids opportunities to explore what they want to do, like you said with that question, it changes how we educate our young people, and it really opens them up to exploring the possibilities that lay ahead of them as long as they're willing to dream. Dreaming is scary stuff.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, that's probably why most of us haven't done it.
Well, it's risky.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to make some choices that are outside the box and be willing to experiment with a skill set you may or may not necessarily be good at.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Julie. This has all been very enlightening. Love what you're doing with the kids. I know your book, Dreams to Action, Trailblazers Guide, is out there, as well as some other trainings that you have on your website. We'll make sure we have a link here in the newsletter to that. I really appreciate you being with me today.
Oh, thank you so much.